Cause I'm throwing money. They think that it's fucking funny, but I'm getting money. I'm getting money. I only live one way. That's Monday through Sunday.
What up, my guys? We only live in one way, and that's Monday through Sunday, man. What's up? First show of 2023. Love doing it for you guys, man. NBA picks every single day. Obviously, I'm your guy, Jay Money. It's what we do, man. We talk about NBA games, give out free picks, and we also have our guys from Wager Talk come on the show as well. Special promo codes. Just we like to bounce different ideas off from different people as well, right? We're all trying to get on the right side here. We have our guy, the sports betting legend, Rob Veno, here with us. What's up with you, Rob? Everything cool with you, my brother?
Everything's good, Jay. Happy New Year to you. I'm glad to be the first show of 2023 for you. That sets up nicely for a big year for us.
Exactly.
Yeah, we're going to look to see if we can get people pointed in the right direction, including ourselves on tonight's NBA card. It's a big one.
Exactly. Definitely a big one, man. We're going to go through all the games except for the Mavs Rockets game and the Pistons Blazers game, my guys. So we're going through the top games, looking for top looks as well. Let's get straight to it. It's all business here on this show, my guys. We're heading over here to the streets of New York here, Madison Square Garden. Early tip here. We have the Knicks going to land point and a half here versus the Suns here, Rob. They've lost 9 straight games versus the Suns. Do you think they can finally get over that hump today?
Well, they're probably a little shorthanded, right? And if Jalen Brunson can't go, they're extremely shorthanded in this game. Neither team's in good form, Jay. The ATS records are bad on both sides recently. Phoenix 1-5 straight up, 2-4 ATS. Knicks no better, but they're both playing to the over. Phoenix 3-1 on this road trip over the total. This road trip, by the way, this will be their 5th in 9 days, which isn't really that bad. 5-10 would be one every other day. So 5-9, the schedule maker's been a little bit kind to them where rest is concerned. And I think even better for them, it looks as if Campaign comes back here today, an extra body. Landry Shamet comes back here today. So for Phoenix, I think my look would be that way. If you're a player prop guy, I took a look at Julius Randle, who could have a field day here against Torrey Craig. That's a bad matchup, and Randle's been red hot. The PRA number has been hiked up to 43.5 where Julius Randle is concerned. That's a little bit out of my reach, even though he's been scoring 30 plus. Total's been bet way down, probably on the assumption that Brunson doesn't go. I'm not sure because they've been both playing to the over. But I think if I had to look here, Jay, my look would be toward Phoenix to keep that streak over the Knicks going.
Yeah, that's a good point there. I know I can't say personally, Rob. Me personally, the way I'm looking at this game, what I have written down, my top play in this game would be Knicks in the first half. Like I say, Booker is usually the guy that torches the Knicks, guys. It was only one game I believe that they played without Booker, and they still won that one. But you just look at it like this as well. The last time that they played the Knicks, they had the lead in that game. I'm gonna end up losing if I'm not mistaken. No, it wasn't the most recent time. It was the second to the most recent time. They had the lead and got outscored by 13 points in the fourth quarter in that game. So the Knicks somewhat have been teetering on a win. Now, obviously, I'll say this: they need Brunson. They're gonna need Brunson because you don't really have a point guard, right? You already did out RJ Barrett, so they will need Brunson in this game. Personally, he is still questionable. I don't really like what they're doing. Either he has a real injury and going to be out for a while. You're just going to keep listening to him questionable every day and then rule him out. But I wish there were more substance in the league or whatever. But regardless of that, when you lose 9 straight to a team, obviously that's all the motivation in the world. Me personally, I could only look towards the Knicks here. This is their chance to get a win over the Suns without Devin Booker. I believe he averages over 30 points against them. I'm looking at it last night going through the games. It's 30, 29, 38 here, 42 points here. So he has been the absolute Knick killer. And when they go into Madison Square Garden, he usually shows up as well. I'd be looking at Knicks first half in this game. If I had one top play in this game, I'm playing Knicks in the first half, and I do lean that way full game as well. Rob, let's go over here, head to the streets of Charlotte here. We got the Hornets land 1 point versus the Lakers in this one, my guy. How you looking at this game?
Well, as far as total goes, Jay, two teams going opposite directions, right? The Lakers finished December 13-2 over the total in their 15 games. Pretty strong. However, Charlotte's 0-4 over in their last 4. They played all 4 unders. And it's interesting because they're a pace team. But you know what? They're just not a good shooting team. And that's the trouble for them. You take a look at their shooting marks the last 4 games, 39.8, 41.3, 39.6. You can't do a lot shooting that terrible, no matter how many possessions you get. I do think this Lonnie Walker questionable is bothersome to me. Generally in a game like this where I think it's going to be pace and little defense, I'm tending to lean toward the Lakers in these types of games. I think they're the only winnable ones that they can get. However, I don't know that they're the better team here without Lonnie Walker. I mean, they're so top heavy in production, right? What they get from James and now Westbrook and really little else. Thomas Bryant went nuts on the boards the other day. Not sure he does that here. Kind of like Charlotte with it looks like Oubre may be back here. Just think they got more guys. So if I had to, and I didn't play, if I had to, I'd be looking Charlotte here at home. I think that's probably the right side.
No, in fact, yeah, Oubre is still out in this one, Rob, but I'm with you. Lonnie Walker could mean huge to that Lakers team over there. I believe this is the last game. This is the last game as well of a 5-game road trip for the Lakers as well. So be personal, I don't want them here. Like I say, last game of a 5-game road trip here for the Lakers. Probably ready to get back home to their families there when they got the Miami Heat on deck as well. They usually get dominated by the Lakers. This is my key to this game, Rob. They usually got dominated by the Lakers. They had lost 6 straight matchups. Then you see the past 2 matchups, the Hornets start to get back on the Lakers here. So the Hornets have won the past 2 versus the Lakers. They just beat them on December 23rd as well in their time zone. It was a late night sleepy spot. Hornets still won that game 134-130 as 2.5-point underdogs. So like I said before that, the Lakers had covered 7 straight. Now it seems like the Hornets are due to own the Lakers here. Now they want some payback. So me personally, I could only look towards the Hornets here. Maybe they're at the house as well. Maybe they start to play a little bit better. If I had to play in this game, if I'm playing this game, it's my pick on this game would be Hornets full game minus the 1 in this one. If the Lakers do come out with something, it's probably first quarter, first half. And what do they usually do? Sometimes they usually run out of gas in the second half. Obviously, a little older team here, so I'd be looking at Hornets full game minus the 1. That would be my pick in that game. Let's go over here to the streets of Indiana here, Rob. We got the Pacers laying a 1.5 here at the house versus the Raptors. Raptors been struggling, right? Pacers been playing some good ball, but they already beat the Raptors earlier this year as well. Rob, a little comeback win. How do we play this game? Do the Pacers keep it going at the house, or do the Raptors finally try to stack up some wins here? Obviously, they need Van Fleet. I kind of saw that he was in uniform and shooting around, Rob. Maybe that back end is feeling a little better today with those couple of days off, Rob. What do you think? Should we look towards the Dinos here?
Yeah, I'm going to, Jay. And let's just, we'll start with Indiana because you talked about how hot they've been. The last 3, their offense is just out of this world, right? 131, 135, 129. And the game you mentioned where they beat Toronto back in November, 118, 104. Real quick here for the Raptors that day, no Precious Achiuwa, no Fred VanVleet. Both look like they're going to play today. It looks like Achiuwa's going to come back for this one. And they didn't have Pascal Siakam in that game either in that loss. So that's, having those 3 guys back here make a little bit of difference for Toronto, who, when they're healthy, and they've kind of teetered on being healthy the last, let's say, 7 to 10 days. There's still a lingering guy here and there. But they're 4-2 against the number. Last 6, not horrible. And I think the last point you made about them needing to stack wins, it's about time. 16-20, it's go time for the Raptors. You got to win games like this. Can they stop the Indiana offense? Questionable, because Toronto's defense would be the scary part for me here, Jay. And let's hope that if Achiuwa comes back, that he provides a little more defense. Last 9 of 11 games, 9 out of the last 11, Toronto's allowed 48.5% or better from the field. It's just not like a Nick Nurse team, but I think having bodies back will help here. I'm leaning toward Toronto in this game. I think I'll probably end up there.
I like the Raptors here, man. This is a revenge fight as well, like you alluded to, Rob. They lost 118-104. What happened in that game? Van Fleet didn't play in that game, nor did Siakam. You see what I'm saying? They led by 15 points. They were outscored. They were outscored by 27 in the second half, and they were outscored 14-36 in the fourth quarter. You see what I'm saying? You got smoked in that fourth quarter. Outscored by 22 points, man. They gave away the game in the fourth quarter, and 8-2 against the spread last 10, playing with 2 days off rest. I like the Raptors here. Give them to me. I don't know why they opened up as +3. last night. To be honest with you, the money line was plus 120. What the F are we doing here? Give me the Raptors. Give me the Dinos here. Full game, my guys. My pick on this game, the Toronto Raptors to get it going. Like you said, Rob. Now, obviously, you could tank. You could. They're kind of in the middle right now. You could kind of tank for a better draft pick, or you can really try to push for the playoffs. It's still somewhat early in the season. If you want to make the playoffs, and it's not too late, you have to win these type of games. You have to look at the Pacers, better record than you, see how they're playing. You got to take this game seriously. If I'm not mistaken, man, Van Fleet and Chua should be back today. If we get those in there, I fully believe the Raptors get this win. You might see them close as the favorite here, but regardless, I always tell people go with what you know. I know the Pacers have been playing some good ball, but sometimes they can play over their head, and you want the Pacers. Me personally, I like them when they're coming off a loss. That's when they're locked in. You know what I'm saying? Off a few wins, obviously they're still going to be locked in, but let's just say I like the Raptors here, guys. Go with what you like, but I like the Raptors here plus the 1.5. You dig what I'm saying? Let's go over here to the streets of Philly here, man. We got the 76ers laying 4 points versus the Pelicans here. Is Joel Embiid scared of this? Does he want to smoke or what? He's coming up a lower back soreness. What the hell is going on? You just got your butts kicked versus this team. The way I'm thinking, Sixers want to have some revenge here, come back to the house. Then you see Embiid pop on the injury problem. I'm not even sure what we're doing here, man. Do you think he's scared, Rob? Does he play in this game?
I think he probably will, but who knows, Jay? Like you say, that's why we can't play these things early in the day. We got to wait around, or do our best guesswork and try and beat the line move, because as soon as he's announced in, game changes again, right? But I'm going to be simple here and just say I will play the revenge. I'll say this. If there's one thing Doc Rivers will do tonight, he'll make sure somebody checks CJ McCollum. 11 threes, 42 points. Give me a break. Somebody's got to get on that, man. They cannot stop Zion. It's a problem that the 76ers just have inherently. They can't stop fours. That's why they can't get out of the Eastern Conference, because they have nobody to play Giannis. They have nobody to play Tatum. They have nobody to play Durant. And we saw the other night they have nobody to play Zion Williamson. I think you used the phrase when we did their preseason preview that there's a little tread off of PJ Tucker's tires. He tries hard, but he ain't guarding Zion. But if they get McCollum, if McCollum doesn't shoot the way he did the other night, I think Philly gets this win. Tyrese Maxey's second game back now. He'll get more minutes. I think that's huge. And for what it's worth, Jay, one thing that scared me going into that game, and the reason why I played New Orleans, was James Harden and his just methodical approach to offensive basketball, pound the ball. We all know it. We're not saying anything new. But Jose Alvarado got 20 minutes in that game, and I was just afraid that, New Orleans would be smart enough to, hey, go get that guy. Don't let him sit there and pound the ball. And he had 7 turnovers, Harden did, in that game. They got to straighten that out. I think they will. Like I said, I'm going to be real simple and just play the revenge angle and play Philly.
Real simple, man. Yeah, I had Sixers first half written down, guys. My top play in this game would be 76ers in the first half. Quick revenge spot loss, 127-116. See what I'm saying? I don't always take the revenge. You know what I'm saying? The Hornets, I do lean Hornets. They did just beat the Lakers. In theory, if I took every revenge game, I'd be saying Lakers. But the revenge does mean something, guys. You can go against it and see what happens with your money. But they lost 127-116 December 30th. CJ McCollum, 42 points. Zion, 36. CJ's a baller. I love him, but it's safe to say that he's not going for 42 points here in Philly. They have a ton of defenders that they can throw at CJ McCollum, and the home team is 8-2 straight up in the last 10 meetings as well. I see my guy in the chat there say they got all the Pelicans got all the calls in the last game. You know what's supposed to happen in this one. It's probably going to reverse, and it could also be a little injury report manipulation. Now, if Embiid does play in this game, and the fact that they listen to him is questionable with a back soreness, that's all. That lets you know right there that these teams try to manipulate the injury report, man. They try to get. I think it's sometimes try to get money on the other side as well, man. So, regards to that, personally, I'd be looking at Sixers in the first half bounce back. I definitely think they come out with revenge on their minds. You dig what I'm saying? And they play a lot better. We know role players play a lot better at the house in this one. The Sixers, we know it, Harden and Embiid are going to give you. It's about the role players. Can they knock down shots, and can they play defense, especially on the perimeter? I think the Sixers bounce back here in the first half. That will be my top play in this game. I lean Sixers first half and full game in this one. I can't stand the way that they're playing with us with this injury report, guys. I'll be honest. I mean, I could go on and on about this for hours. I can't stand it, and I don't think it's fair, but it is what it is. We have to deal with it. Let's go over here to the streets of Cleveland here, man. man. We got the Cavs laying 4 points at the house versus the Chicago Bulls in this one. The Cavs 16-4 straight up at the house, 13-6-1 against the spread here, Rob. Do you think they beat the Bulls for a second time in a row?
Man, it's hard to go against that type of number, right, Jay? I mean, those are strong home numbers, and the Bulls aren't a strong road team. So, technically, you would look at Cleveland first. I do worry about the personnel issues here, right? Darius Garland did not make shoot around this morning. If there's one spot that Cleveland can survive, it might be the backcourt because you can slide Karis LeVert in and let Mitchell play points. So I think they can survive that. But the Evan Mobley game time decision is troublesome as well. They just played each other. They come off a 103-102 win against the Bulls. The other night, Bulls played them pretty tough, couldn't get the win. Where Cleveland might be losing bodies, it looks like Chicago's gaining a couple bodies. Caruso probably in, but I think that, Jones Jr. comes back for this one. So the depth for Chicago will be there. But I don't know that depth is meaningful for the Bulls. You know what I mean? So you got a lot of guys, but you got a lot of mediocre guys. We'll see. Zach LaVine went off for 43 the other day, and they always have that potential. It's a tough game for me, Jay, with these injuries. Don't think I'd want the Bulls, but I don't know that I want the Cavs, even with those strong home ATS numbers, because of Garland being out and because Mobley maybe being out as well.
Yeah, that's fast right there. Yeah, I think Mobley could be back. We know Garland is out for a while, maybe out for a little while, but Mobley could be back in this game, and it could be huge because if Mobley was out in the last one and the Cavs said Mobley and Garland was out in the last one, LaVine goes off for 40 plus and you still lose the game, that's not good. And I'll tell you, I think the Cavs are a bad matchup for the Bulls. Just look at it like this schematically. The Bulls really don't have a center. They really don't have a point guard as well, and that's why they struggle in this league because you really can't win with just being DeRozan and LaVine bringing the ball up every single night. See what I'm saying? You really need them to be coming sometimes off these off-ball screens or whatever, not bringing the ball up the floor where you can set the defense based up around them. They don't have a center, and you're going up against Jared Allen where he's going to own you on the boards. He's going to own you in the paint. So the way I'm looking at it last night, sometimes a team can just have another team's number. I'm not sure the Cavs are the matchup that the Bulls want, not with their size and depth down low and with them having the multiple wings, the multiple ball handlers as well, like you said, Rob. Garland goes out. Okay, cool. We got LeVert. He's a starter in this league all day. So I can only look towards Cavs here. I know the Bulls have some revenge. What I'd like to, if I like the Bulls here, I'd take them first quarter. I mean, I take them early in this game. Usually when it's the quick revenge, the revenge is fresh on your mind. You want to come out and have a much better start. So that's what I could see. If I did like the Bulls, I'd maybe take them first half, but full game here, I could only look towards the Cavs. Their track record is way too strong at the house for me to be betting against them at home, and I really do think they're a bad matchup for the Bulls that don't have a true point guard and don't have a true. Well, I know today's NBA doesn't matter about true center, but when you have a Jared Allen on the other side, it matters, guys. And if Mobley comes back, the Cavs could own these guys in the paint and down low. I could only look towards the Cavs here, guys. Let's go over here to the streets of Brooklyn here, Rob. We got the Nets here laying 12.5 points. It was 13.5 last night. Nets, hottest team in the NBA right now. I'm kind of starting to think, should we be playing some underdog numbers on them to win the East or to win their division? Because obviously with the Celtics in their division, you can get a great number if you think the Nets will surpass the Celtics. If you think they can keep this up, Rob, there's some good numbers out there. It's the only thing I'm saying. But what do you think? First off, what do you think about this line coming down from 13.5 to 12.5, Rob?
Man, it's like you were pushing your thoughts from Colorado into my head in Philadelphia, Jay, because I was thinking the same thing. Brooklyn futures are a real good look at this point in time while you can still get decent numbers, because if they keep on this pace, we're not going to get those numbers anymore. I'm not playing against them, but there are reasons that you wouldn't want to play on them. First game back home off a small road trip, not a lengthy road trip. I usually put more into a lengthy road trip when I want to fade the home team, but still it is first back. However, the Nets, boy, oh boy, the way they were playing defense to start the year, Jay, was miserable. You know, they've gone 8 straight games now, and this may not be saying a ton, but where Brooklyn's concerned, it's saying enough to have them win a bunch of games. They haven't allowed anybody to shoot 50% against them the last 8 games. And where they're concerned, that's huge because they can score the basketball all day long. And the fact that they have TJ Warren now, when I watch him out there, and they're just unlimited potential offensively. I don't know that I want to lay big points, even though the Nets, their weakness would be interior. It doesn't get exploited by a team like this because San Antonio's a little team. San Antonio's so young. Devin Vassell may not go. There's a lot of reasons to hate the Spurs. I think in my mind, the safest way to go is maybe play Nets team total. This team total is like 123.5, 124. And I just don't, San Antonio doesn't stop people from getting to 125. So the Nets could get over that number and not cover. I would still win a bet. So I think that's the way I'm going to look. Brooklyn over the team total. I think it's around 124.
Yeah, I'm not betting against the Nets right now. I can tell you that. I'd look towards team total. I don't like the spread here because they haven't been favored by double digits. They were by the Warriors, and now we know we're finna smash them. But this is the peak market for the Nets, right? Now that they've been winning so much, now you get the peak of them. So if you did want to sell on the Nets here, it would definitely be a sell high spot on the Nets. Obviously, I mean, and the whole thing is with their win streak, it's not going to stop here, right? They're favored. The whole thing are they're going to cover the spread, right? I hate to say this, but personally, like if I'm betting this game, if I had a free pick on this game or whatever, you know how the sports books and you have a free pick, a free play, I'd bet the Spurs here plus the points. This is a step up Super Bowl type of spot for the Spurs. Remember, when tanking teams, they don't want to beat their bad teams. You know what I'm saying? They're going to lose to them on purpose. But when they're going up against a top tier team, they can feel good about themselves if they can fight in this type of game. If not, if win it or whatever, they'll feel good. They'll feel like they won a playoff game. You see what I'm saying? So I could see them playing up here. Like I say, this is they're catching double digits in a Super Bowl type of game. Nets off 3. This is the main reason why they're off 3 straight road games. You come home for 1 home game and then you're right back out on the road for 3 straight roads. So I'm just trying to get you guys to understand the process. It's not saying that the Spurs are a lock here, but it just says when a team does, especially land heavy points. Obviously, the Nets are balling right now, guys. Personally, my money's not going against them. I'm just breaking you down how I look at these games. Catching 13.5, it's down. Let's just say I understand why it's coming down from 12.5 as well. Spurs probably fully healthy in this game, catching double digits. I feel like you might see a strong game for them, and they could keep it within 7 to 8 points. That's just how I feel. But could the Nets blow them by 25, 30? Yes, they freaking can very easily, guys. But the way that I look at games, last night I was looking at it, Spurs plus 13.5. The only way I could look down to 12.5 today. I agree with the line move. Let's just put it that way, guys. Let's go over here to the streets of Minnesota here, Rob. Fascinating game, right? It's a fascinating game. We just here to bring you the info. Wolves, they just had a team meeting after the last game. They led 30-12 in the first quarter, up 18, Rob. Ended up losing the game by double digits. Now, yeah, that deserves a team meeting after that. You have to go have a team meeting after that shit. Nuggets, red hot. I sensed something different from the team. The old Nuggets team would lose versus the Celtics, get blown out. They go out there and win that game without Jamal Murray. But interesting enough, there was a 40-minute delay they were messing around with the rims and shit. You kind of have to win 2 games because it's a whole nother game after that, right? Celtics came back, Rob. What do you think about this? What do we do with this game? Can the Nuggets keep it going here on the road?
Well, the immediate reaction for me would be Denver in a stressful game against the – not stressful because they won by margin, but the effort that you put into a game when you're hosting the Celtics, it's a big deal. Come from the altitude, have to play the very next day in Minnesota. I was surprised, Jay, because just in my head, I was thinking, Minnesota's playing a little bit better up until that Detroit game. But when you look at the ATS record, it's not true. They're 1-5 against the spread. However, the competition level prior to Detroit, the game you just alluded to, was pretty intense. Milwaukee, New Orleans, Miami, Boston, 2 Dallases. Those are good teams that Minnesota was shooting the ball pretty well against, playing fairly well, but not good enough to cover anything. So my first reaction, like I say, would be to fade the team in the back-to-back situation, thinking at Jokic, 30-plus minutes last night, and Aaron Gordon and Michael Porter Jr. But like you said, Jamal Murray was given intentional rest yesterday so that they would have fresh legs here today. And, who knows where Minnesota's at right now. I'll say this because I mentioned it Friday on the Wager Talk show, or maybe I was on with Ski on his show. Jay, a healthy Denver, and this is a team that, just think back a year and a half, 2 years ago when they acquired Aaron Gordon at the trade deadline. As soon as that trade happened, I immediately went and bet Denver on a future board 9-1 to win the West. Took a flyer with that. And then like a couple nights later, Jamal Murray blew out his knee. And lucky for me, that sportsbook gave me my money back. I don't know why, but they did. So it was a good deal.
Rob, what sportsbook was that? Because them boys.
Yeah, I give it to you off air. Off air. Yeah, and so in that instance, Jay, we're seeing that team back on the floor here, right? We've got Aaron Gordon, Michael Porter Jr., Jokic. In fact, we've got a better defender in Caldwell Pope on the floor starting now, and the bench is solid. I like the Denver team. I don't like the situation. I don't have a play. I wish I could get to Minnesota, but I just can't at this point in time. You can't blow that 30-12 lead against a team like Detroit. I could see if it was a good team, they wound up losing by 12 to Detroit. So I don't know. This is a tough one for me to make heads or tails of.
I'll say this, man. Detroit's no pushover, and I'm looking at the Blazers game, and I'm like, okay, it's a highlight. They're supposed Blazers should get it done tonight. I'm like, I'm not laying 9.5 versus this Pistons team. You look at that Pistons team 1-9, man. That's even when they're missing Killian Hayes right now, who's been playing a lot better. That Pistons team can ball, man. I don't put too much on the Wolves. Now, obviously, the Wolves are not in good spirits, right? They weren't playing well. I can't put too much on because the Pistons never give up. They're a scrappy team, guys. Just watch this. We're gonna on games where they're catching 10.5, 11.5 onto the season. We're gonna make some money with the Pistons. I remember last year, later in the season, they went like on a 7-8 game ATS streak. They're losing games, but they covered the spread. But I just want to say that real quick. I don't think the Pistons are as bad as they look, but I could only look Wolves here, guys. And I think early is where you want to, and it could even be late as well. Now, let me just look at this as a basketball player. Now, you're playing the game, right? Okay, cool. We're high. You got to warm up, do all this to get to a game. 40-minute delay where you're just sitting around. You see Jokic trying to run up and down the court. These guys try to keep loose. Why? Because they know they have to play another 6.5 minutes of basketball, right? You could players could get injured. That's not what you want to do, man. To be sitting down for 40 minutes, basically another halftime. I don't like the spot for the Nuggets here. You know what they were supposed to do? They were supposed to kind of let down that game yesterday versus the Celtics. That's why they rested Murray. I'm reading everything. They're like, okay, we're going to rest it. This is a bigger game tomorrow versus the Wolves in the division game. We're going, you know what I'm saying? We want that one way more. Wolves have won 4 of the last 5 versus the Nuggets as well. So when you see that, and then it's like, oh, okay, we're in the game. Let's go ahead and win it. Murray's going to come back today, but the rest of the team is still going to be out of sorts. I really feel like they could really run out of gas in this one. This one was at 3 yesterday. It's come down to 2, 1.5 at some spots. Like I say, the Nuggets are balling right now, but they usually do really ball out at the house. On the road, a little bit more susceptible to some bad play. With Wolves, it's a motivated J spot here as well, coming off their team meeting. I'd look Wolves first half, 6 straight losses. Team meeting after the 18-point ball lead, won 3 straight versus the Nuggets. 3-0 against the spread. Nuggets on the back-to-back versus the big win versus Celtics. Wolves first half for me, guys. I hadn't betted yet, but personally, I think I have to at least try to take them some early. I know they've been playing terrible, guys, but this is a turn-up spot for the Wolves, and if they can't do it here, that's when you say, okay, they're an auto fade, but this team can turn it around, guys. I think the Wolves cast a trifecta today. That's what I think happened. I think they come out and smack these Nuggets in the mouth. You have to. And this one, if they get the lead, I don't think they'll lose it, guys. That's just how I'm looking at it, man. You go with what you know. Let's go to the Streets of Warriors here, Rob. Sorry for talking so much, man. It just gets me hyped up. Warriors land 1.5 at the house, Rob. What are we doing here? This line was at 3 yesterday. I know I'm looking towards the Warriors at the house. Wait, what are we doing? Why did the line come down?
Well, we never know who they're going to play in these situations, right? But they are down 6 guys right off the bat here tonight. And a couple are, Wiseman and Kuminga, but it's your bench. And you really need those guys to fill some minutes. Steve Kerr told us earlier in the year he needs these guys to fill some minutes. And when you're already without Steph Curry and others, Andre Iguodala, Andrew Wiggins, and then you lose key members of your bench, it's tough. So I think the Warriors probably shorthanded here, but there's no way in heck I want the Hawks. The Hawks can be a scary team. And in this particular situation, they could come outscore Golden State. Any given night, Atlanta can outscore you. Not going to have Clint Capella in the lineup. The rim protection should be minimal in this contest, which is why the total sits at 237. You could see a lot of up and down. The way Clay and Jordan Poole have decided that without Steph on the floor, they get their 50 shots combined a night. They just keep launching, but they're hitting them right now. The Golden State's put together a pretty good run here. I don't trust the Hawks, Jay, in simple terms. I don't trust the Hawks, and I don't trust them only getting 1.5 on the road. The teams, it's well documented, internal problems to begin with, and they don't always shoot straight. Trae Young, I think, has been playing a little banged up all season long. So I think it would be Golden State or nothing, but more than that, I think I would probably look over. I think this just has the feel of a extremely high scoring game where both teams can make it to 120.
Yeah, no, there's facts right there. Yeah, I wanted to play Golden State here as well, man. They're 16-2 at the house. There's some shit you just don't bet against. You see what I'm saying? And even as underdogs in spots where it looked like they're going to lose. I'm watching that game, the last game versus the Blazers, guys. I was impressed the way that the Warriors came back and won that game.
Yeah.
Blazers had that one. You see what I'm saying? They had the squad, they had all the motivation, everything. Warriors come back there and steal it from them. I said to myself, don't ever bet against the Warriors at the house. It's simple. The Hawks have won 4 of the last 5 versus the Warriors. I don't know if it's just a bad matchup. Trae Young obviously wants to be Steph. The Warriors are really banged up right now, like Rob said. No Kuminga, no Wiseman off the bench, so not sure who's going to be the backup center. The front court is really thin, so I don't know what to do with the game. I'm not betting against the Warriors at the house. We're not sure what to do with the Hawks right now, man. But like they have won 4 of the last 5 versus Warriors. I'm not betting against Warriors at the house. Last game up, Rob. Clippers land 2.5 at the house versus the Heat. Another one. Why is this spread coming down? I don't understand why.
Yeah, I'm with you, Jay. I'm with you. If I cut you off there, I apologize. Yeah, the way the Clippers are playing right now, who wants to bet against them? They're rounding it to form. The team that you and I described when we did the preseason preview is the team we're starting to see now. They're getting used to each other. The defense is there constantly. Most nights, I think they gave up 130 their last time out, so they had one bad. But you can expect one bad outing every now and again. When they come motivated, they're motivated. I think the fact that Jimmy Butler's in the lineup is why this number moves so much. I mean, every time where Jimmy Butler's involved, Miami's involved, the line just fluctuates up 3 or down 3, up 4 or down 4, according to his presence. He's going to be there tonight. But I don't know if it's enough, Jay, and I don't feel like being one of these people who chase injuries in the line. I think the Clippers are the better team, and the Clippers are the better defense. Tyler Hero has been really, really good as of late. But again, you got somebody like Paul George to lock him up tonight. So I think the Clippers right now, I see the way Norman Powell is playing off the bench. When we get into guys other than Kawhi and PG, you look at guys like Powell, who's been playing really, really good as of late. They've been good inside, good outside. I don't know, man. I think the Clippers are 1-9, the deepest, the most talented team, and I think they're playing that way right now. So I would take them. Miami loses to Denver a couple of nights ago, comes back with a win, but they're in the middle of a road trip here. I think I like the Clippers.
No, I'm right there with you, bro. That's the only way that I can look at this game. My guy Alfonso said, that guy's funny in the chat, man. But yeah, I like the Clippers here, guys. Now, don't get it twisted. You could wait till right before the game to bet this game. Somebody knows something, right? That's the reason why I asked, like, what? Because I'm just wondering if someone knows something. I don't know. This guy was at 5 yesterday, last night. It was down to 4 this morning. Now down to 2.5. Somebody has to be out. Maybe Kawhi is sitting out. In theory, you would like to say that this is a fade spot for the Clippers coming home off of a 5-game East Coast road trip. But only thing, they already did this year, coming off a 4-game East Coast road trip, and they came home and beat the Celtics and smacked them by 20. So they came out hot early and often. So maybe the Clippers can come home off a road trip and win the game. They have revenge as well. 7-1 against the spread and 8-2 against the spread last 10 games. Revenge spot, lost 115-110 on December 8th. They didn't have Kawhi in that game. Bam went for 31 points. Butler went for 26. It's safe to say that won't happen again. I like the Clippers here minus the 2.5. You can wait until the last minute to see who's playing, but I fully believe Clips get some revenge here. I do want to say the Heat are starting to play a lot better, but this is a late night sleepy spot for them with the revenge spot for the Clippers. Clippers already match up really well. I like the Clip show in this one. I got a haircut yesterday. You see what I'm saying? So I like the Clippers in this one, my guys. Rob, let's get out of here, my brother. What you liking on tonight's card? But first, let them know what you got going over at Wager Talk, my brother.
Yeah, let's go real quick. Wager Talk. It's $9 Monday, which it is every time I'm on with you, Jay. So if you want to try out handicappers over there, it's a great time to do it. Only $9 per play, no matter what the strength of play is. I myself, today's a big college football day. I have a 5% college football play up and available right now. WagerTalk.com. You get it for $9. There's other college plays. Plus, it's a big NFL game tonight as well for those who follow the NFL. Buffalo and Cincinnati play up and available on that game. WagerTalk.com. If you're not a member, real quick, go to wagertalk.com. Just drop your email address. You'll have free access to all the free media videos that we do each and every week, just like the one you're watching here that Jay does. describing games, analyzing them in every sport, each and every day, wagertalk.com. For the board today, Jay, I'm gonna leave you with this. I really like Toronto tonight. We talked about it a little bit. I think the reinsertion of Achua, I know he's been out a long, long time, but I'm not looking at him for offense. I'm looking for him on the boards, and I'm looking for him to shore up that defense. I mentioned how bad the numbers have been. I think they'll be better defensively. I think Toronto needs to win games at this point in time. This is one where they can win it. Yes, Indiana's offense has been red hot. Just feel like Toronto at full strength. We described how when they lost the first time this year, didn't have three of their key players, right? Everybody back here. I'm going to take the Raptors here plus the 1.5 points against Indiana.
I'm right there with you. We got a question for you real quick in the chat, Rob. What do you think about the over in the Nuggets game with them on a back-to-back?
It's you know what? I probably would play over. Yes, because I think Minnesota's a tempo team. They're going to catch a team in back-to-back off of altitude. They're going to play tempo. So, yeah, even though it's Gobert against Jokic, which Gobert's probably as stiff a matchup as he gets, I still think you probably get over the number.
Right there with you, man. So my research last night, this is what I have written down, guys. Every single one of them. Knicks first half, Hornets full game, Raptors full game. Raptors first half and full game, if I'm being honest. 76ers first half, Cavs full game, Spurs full game, Wolves first half and full game. I think the Wolves cast a trifecta. I had Blazers written down, but I didn't play it. Hawks first half and Clippers on the full game, guys. My top three out of those would be Raptors full game, 76ers first half, and Wolves in the first half, my guys. I fully believe that the Wolves cashed the trifecta spot, my guys. Let's get some cash today. We appreciate everybody for tuning in. We appreciate your time as well for checking out this show. We're here to bring you guys the info, break down these games. Obviously, it's up to you to place your money on what you believe will cash. Always go with your gut. It's us against the bookies. You're not competing up against us. You're competing up against whoever you're putting your money against, man. Let's get some cash, my guys. Everybody that's gotten a shirt, I fucking appreciate you, man. Excuse my language, but I really appreciate your support. I appreciate you supporting the channel. And let's keep it going, my guys. We appreciate everybody for tuning in. Let's get some cash. Hit the like button if you like the show, man. Share the show. We out.